Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sammy. Today I'm showing you guys this affordable / drugstore makeup look. Everything from my brushes to everything on my face is all affordable makeup. And this is just kind of the look that I came up with. This can be anything from a bridesmaid makeup look to everyday glam to going to work, that kind of thing. It's just super simple, really pretty, and so flattering, and can be flattering on absolutely everybody. So if you guys want to see my tips and tricks, I will leave all of the products that I use in the description box below, but just keep watching. Alright everybody, I am going in with my Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot Primer. This is about $14 that you can pick up either at Ulta or at Target. So this is absolutely perfect for anybody with oily skin like myself. This helps stop any oils from peeking through and breaking up my foundation. So I'm just going to be going in and spreading that all over the rest of my face. Alright, moving on, we will be mixing two foundations today. I will be using the L'Oreal Pro Matte in the shade 105 and the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation in Soft Ivory. I'm mixing these two because I thought my L'Oreal Pro Matte foundation was slightly too dark for the color of my neck. And so it's a little bit lighter on my skin, but we'll make it look a little bit better with bronzer as we move on. So I will just be taking a L'Oreal Beauty sponge and just pouncing that all over my skin. It's very important that you drag it down to your neck so that you don't have a mask-like looking face, and also onto your ears so that everything stays one color. And next is to conceal underneath those eyes and really brighten up the look. So I am taking the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in Neutralizer. I'm just going to be putting this in all the high points of my face where I want things to look a little bit brighter. So especially underneath my eyes to conceal any dark circles. And so I will just be using that same L'Oreal Dampened Beauty Sponge and blending that into the rest of my skin. I'm sorry we're looking a little bit crazy, but I promise it all comes together with a little bit of bronzer and blush. Now using my Cody Airspun Loose Powder in Translucent. This stuff is so great. I'm using that same sponge and we're going to bake underneath the eyes. We will dust away the powder after we let it sit for a little bit, but this is just going to help the foundation and the concealer all completely set so that we have a nice matte face and we can control all of our oils throughout the day. So I am just setting that in my T-zone where I get the most oily. Now that we are dusting away all of that powder, I'm using a big powder brush from Real Techniques to just pat that into the rest of my skin, taking some extra on the outside and making sure that my foundation won't be going anywhere. And now that we have the rest of our face completely set and a smooth canvas to work on, we are going to bronze. We're going to bring some life back into this flat face. So I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer and a Morphe E3 brush. Starting on the forehead, we are just going to start bronzing and working that into the skin, and also focusing it on the cheekbones as well. I will also be taking a Real Technique setting brush to contour the sides of my nose. Just using that bronzer, just going to define my nose a little bit better on the sides and also underneath. Using that same setting brush from Real Techniques, I will be going in to the L'Oreal Glam Bronze to contour. So I will be just picking up a small amount and focusing it on the areas right there to make it a little bit more defined. Now going in with a Morphe M406 dual fiber brush, I'm just going to be dipping into my Flower blush and focusing that on the apples of my cheeks. Right up next is the Essence Highlight. This stuff is so great. I'm using the Morphe M501 brush and just focusing that on the top of my cheekbones. Now for the part that everybody has been so excited to see, my brows. I am using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Dark Brunette. Now when I do my brows, I most importantly get my shape that I want. I work my way from the inner middle of my face towards the outer tail. So I grab my shape and then I just lightly fill in the shape that I defined. So making it darker towards the tail and then also fade it out more towards the center so that we don't have a super sharp and prominent brow. We want it to look as natural as possible. And next, I am just using the Brow Stylist Plumper from L'Oreal in medium to dark to just set those brow hairs so they don't go anywhere. Alright, now moving straight to the eyes. I'm going to be using that same butter bronzer and a fluffy Morphe E27 crease brush. We're going to put this into the creases of the eyes and just buff it all around to create a transition shade. Then I will be going in with the Morphe M433 brush to focus a darker color on the outer V of the lid. This is Maybelline Made for Mocha. Using a very light hand, I'm just going to put it into the outer V of my eye and further blend it out, going back in with the crease brush and fluffing it and creating some dimension on the outer part of my eye. After that, I will be moving on with the Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade Barely Branded. I'm going to just be using my finger and working this onto the lid, and it does dry pretty matte, but I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the shade Iced Latte to give it some even more pigment and a little extra glam, and I will just be doing that on both sides. This is the Maybelline Curvitude liner in black. The way that I do my winged liner, it takes a lot of practice, makes perfect. So I'm just using the natural curve of my eye to create a straight line upwards, and then just using that line to connect and just line the upper part of my lid as straight as I possibly can. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time, but the end result is great. And so then I will just be moving into mascara using my all-time favorite L'Oreal Lash Paradise in Blackest Black and curling my lashes with a Revlon eyelash curler. And I will put on a couple coats of that. So now moving on, I will be using the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Rebel Rose. This is just like a liquid lipstick, but it's so cheap and so good. Such a pretty color, and they have so many other options that are just as great. Alright everybody, this is my finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed and you learned something. If you have any future video requests, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and yes, I will see you guys in my next video.